Chapter 13. She appeared nude. This incident took place in 1994, in Singapore. A young woman known as Helen attended one of the churches at the Upper Serangoon Road as visitor during a series of evangelistic meetings. She was a very attractive woman. After a series of doctrinal studies, she was baptized by immersion in the church. I, who studied the scriptures with her, came to know the background of Helen. Helen was single and was working for a Chinese Towkey in town as an office secretary. Her boss had contacts with evil spirits for a long time. This was no secret to Helen, for she knew her boss's background. One day she opened her heart to me and told me about her employer. She persuaded me to visit her boss. The first part of the following dialogue is between me and Helen, and the latter part is between me and the Chinese Towkey. Helen: Pastor, your class on evil spirits and their influences is interesting. It interests me greatly because the Chinese Towkey for whom I work keeps in contact with spirits. Pastor: Is that so? Where does he live? And what kind of work do you do for him? Helen: I am his personal secretary. His office is in Chinatown. Would you mind coming with me to visit him next week? Pastor: Yes, I would be glad to visit your boss with you. I am free on Monday next week. Helen: In that case, I will inform him ahead of time of your coming to see him. Monday arrived. It was about 10 in the morning. Helen and the pastor took a bus ride from Upper Serangoon Road and headed for Chinatown. Within 30 minutes they arrived at the destination. They came to a plaza. Helen led the way into the plaza. They went past many shops along the way inside the plaza. Some of the shops were still not opened yet. Some were beginning to open for business for the day. They then took the escalator and came to a higher level. Pastor: Does your boss live here? Helen: Yes. His house is situate on top of these shops. He owns this plaza. Pastor: Really? He must be a very rich man. Helen: Yes, he is a very rich man. Let's be going, as he is waiting to see you today. They passed through a dim tunnel. Along the way there were many idols of different sizes. There were joss sticks burning before the idols, and the atmosphere was filled with the smell of joss sticks. Pastor: It is like visiting a cave, walking through these passageways. Helen: Yes. My employer worships these spirits. His aged mother and several other relatives also live here. As they went through the passageway, they saw some elderly ladies whom the pastor recognized as the relatives of the Towkey. Finally, they arrived at the door of the office where the Chinese man worked. The door was open. Helen walked straight into the office and introduced the pastor to her boss. The boss was a short and stout Chinese man in his late 40s. He appeared very casual. He was dressed in a t-shirt and short pants. He was wearing slippers. He appeared friendly. Helen: Good morning. As promised, I have brought my pastor to see you. Towkey: Good morning, pastor. Please come in and take a seat here. He gestured to the two to sit on the seats in front of his desk. Pastor gave a handshake and sat down. Can I get you a drink? Pastor and Helen: No, thank you. We just had our breakfast. Towkey: I have been waiting for you, pastor. Helen told me about you a month ago, and she was the one who arranged for this meeting. Pastor: Yes, I know that. I am very curious to know about your background and how you came to be in contact with Lucifer. Towkey: It started long ago when I was young and still in the Singapore Army. There I got involved with communicating with spirits. I rose up the ranks quickly. To cut the story short, I am a medium now. The one I am now in contact with is a very powerful spirit, known as Lucifer. She has a feminine look. She appears to me as a beautiful woman and gives me advice whenever I need help in decision-making. Pastor: Can you describe to me how Lucifer looks like? Towkey: Very, very beautiful lady. She has beautiful features. Her hair is golden and wavy. It hangs about her shoulders. Every time when I am in consultation with her, she comes to me in a nude form. Any male who sees her will fall for her immediately. She is so very attractive. Pastor, what advice does she give you? Towkey, she helps me in all my business dealings and decision-making. I always find success in business whenever I follow her advice. Even in the army, I got rapid promotions because I always followed her advice. Now I am nearing 50 years of age. I have left the army and started a business. Lucifer's advice has given me great success. The three talked together on various issues of life, and then about 30 minutes later, it was time to leave. Pastor, I have taken a bit of your time. Nice meeting you. I need to be going now. Towkey, let me escort you down the escalator to the bus stop. Helen remained in his office to do her secretarial work for him, while the Towkey and I walked slowly out of the plaza to the nearby bus stop. The Towkey waved goodbye to me and bid me farewell. I returned home by bus with a somber heart. I learned that Satan was not as ugly as many had painted him in pictures. He could appear as an angel of mercy as he did to Helen Wong's boss. Also, I realized how easily the devil had bought over the soul of the rich business tycoon who had become his slave. The rich man had sold everything to the devil lock, stock and barrel.